Hi, welcome to another episode of MYD Global. I'm your host, Leanne Hackman-Carty. Did you ever wonder where you could buy food for your emergency kit for your family and what you should be including? Well, today's episode, I talked with Zenia Platten, who's with Total Prepare. It's a company in Canada that does a lot of online sales for families and workplaces that are interested in buying stuff to put into their emergency kit. So stay tuned as I talk to her about the types of products and things you should be looking for to include and why it's so important. Hi, Zenia. How are you today?
Hi, I'm very well, thank you. And yourself?
I'm good, good. Hey, before we get started on our topic today, just wondering if you could just tell the audience a little bit about yourself, your background.
For sure, yeah. So I've been with Total Prepare for about 4 years. I've put a finger in every pie here, but my main duties involve developing new kits that are competitive and that will actually help you survive in an emergency. Helping build custom kits for families and companies, everyone from individuals through to hundreds and hundreds of people. And then helping, especially with people with dietary needs, making sure they have things they can eat if nothing else is available. Yeah. So that's kind of my big role here.
Yeah. So tell me just a little bit about the company, about Total Prepare. What is it? What do you guys do?
For sure. So we mostly do e-commerce online, but we also have a physical retail location in Victoria, BC, and we help, again, anyone from a senior citizen needing a small compact kit through to airports and banks and credit unions across the country to find emergency solutions, build kits, cabinets, fill their containers, all that good stuff. So if, say, I'm a family, I'm interested in putting something together. I know that there's a lot of kits out there, but in your opinion, as far as what you guys would provide, what would be the basics that at a minimum people should be thinking about having? For sure. So at a bare minimum, you want in order water, food, and sanitation. So that's 4 liters or 1 gallon of water per person per day, ideally for a minimum of 3 days. So 12 liters per person or 3 gallons. And that as a minimum. Anything more is always better. The next would be food. It's a tricky area in our industry because there's no standard on how many calories they can give you and what is in it. So you have to be really careful to look for things with good ingredients, good content, and also that doesn't skimp on calories, because you need coma patients get 1,100 calories a day, and most emergency kits do 1,200. So not a lot. Whereas ideally, if you're preparing for a family, even the kids, aim for 2,000 calories per day. I was just going to say, and then the third thing would be sanitation. And that's just once you have the food and water, it needs somewhere to go. Disease and health and safety are a really big concern after disaster if plumbing's not in a good state. So portable toilets, educating people as to what to actually do with their waste, all that good stuff is, I would say, the third priority.
And so when you're considering the food piece, I mean, obviously you're not grabbing something from your fridge and putting it in a box. I assume it's like dehydrated food, or what exactly is the type of food you should be looking at for your kit?
For sure. So there's 3 main types of food on the market. Your kind of standard that's in most bug out bags are what we call ration bars, and they're effectively shortbread bars, and they'll have a 5-year shelf life. They're very sweet. They're designed for a quick boost of energy, and they'll get you through, but you will be sick of them after 3 days. My personal favorite is freeze-dried food. You get larger portions. It's tastier food. It's better for you, and it has a 25-year shelf life. So it's really set it and forget it. There's no rotating cans, all that good stuff. Yeah. The third option that you tend to find in our industry is what's called an MRE, or a meal ready to eat. And they're actually self-heating meals, so you don't have to cook, you don't have to add extra water, and you get a fully cooked, delicious, sometimes 3 or 4 course meal. I use them like hiking and camping. They're actually really good. And I would say that's the sort of the gold standard.
Oh, that's great. And then as far as water, do you have to kind of replace it every once in a while, or should, some bottled water be okay for 20 years?
Great question. The water itself, water doesn't go bad, which is great, but things can grow in it, and the container it's in can degrade into the water, and then you get chemicals in your water. So if you're buying bottled water from the store or those big jugs you see on water coolers, we generally recommend keeping them for no more than a year.
Yeah.
There are BPA free. It's a type of free plastic that you can get containers made of, and then still about a year unless you treat it. There are treatments all over the place that you can put in it. We recommend a copper silver ion solution, and that gives it a 5-year shelf life.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And so what about, so that, as a family, considering those three elements, but what about, say, I know you guys look at workplaces as well. If I have, say, an office, is there something different I should be considering, or would I just adopt the same kind of model for a kit for work?
Yeah, so the kits don't really change their base content. We're still human when we walk through the office. We still need to eat and drink and do other things. And so the basic contents of the kit usually stay the same. Yep. What I find tends to change is, I hate to say it, but cost effectiveness. A lot of offices aren't willing to spend as much on their people as a mother's willing to spend on her family, which is fair. So you do wind up usually getting less stuff or lower quality stuff. So we often recommend to people that they keep a little kit of their own things at work, even if it's a change of clothes, because work can't really provide that.
Yeah.
Extra couple granola bars you can cycle through, and bottles of water you can cycle through, or a water bottle. It impresses me when businesses take it seriously enough that I feel their employees are prepared.
Yeah, no, and I think obviously that's one of the reasons I do this channel. I want to give people tips and tools and reasons why preparedness is important. Exactly. Because at the end of the day, nobody wants to think it's going to happen to them, but if and when it does, someone who's got all of the food, the water available, they're a little better off. So I guess in your line too, is there, maybe you see this over and over again, is there a message that you just really want to give people to encourage them to take this seriously?
I guess just remembering that emergency planning is everything planning. I happen to live in an earthquake zone, and we hear people saying all the time, oh, an earthquake's not going to happen. And it's like, okay, well, if you don't believe in earthquake, do you believe that a fire might happen? We had a building in our town burn down like last summer. It was a big hotel. Do you believe that we could have another blizzard like we had in '96? Do you believe that the power could go out for a week? Yeah. All kinds of things, right? It's not just that one big emergency that your town might get. It's everything. I go in my kit probably twice a year to steal toothpaste when I don't want to go to the grocery store. Like it's any kind of emergency.
Yeah, it's just a day-to-day emergency. Exactly. Yeah. Well, that's great. And I'm going to, on the video, I will definitely put a link to your company website just so people can find out more information about the types of products you guys have, some tips, I'm sure, on how to prepare best. But is there anything else before we wrap up that you want to mention? Or
I guess just, especially if you're preparing for a family, this stuff can be daunting and overwhelming, and it's so important to be prepared and not scared. That would be my main piece of advice. Take it one step at a time, break it down.
And that's the thing, and I think just having the confidence that it's there, should you need it, it's just the peace of mind. I think it is well worth it. It's not the cost, because at the end of the day, it is about just investing in your own safety and your families. So, well, Zenia, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me today, and I wish you all the best, and stay safe.
Thank you. You as well. Have a great rest of your day.